I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional territory from which this broadcast will be aired. Could you give me a little bit of background about the teachings, the Brahma Kumaris way of life? Because it's a way of life. It's a way of health, right? If you can give us a little bit of detail about it.
The way of life, which takes priority here. See, right now, if we see for the last few decades, our priority is always the outer world. So it's about taking care of family, taking care of work, taking care of society. And when it comes to the self, it's taking care of the body. So that's where the self ends. But we were never thinking and talking about taking care of the self. The self is here. When this life leaves, we call this a dead body. You see, if someone is taken in for a surgery, the doctor will say, "Sister, take Mr. So-and-so inside." In case things don't go right, the doctor will say, "Sister, take the body out." So when the person is taken inside, it's Mr. So-and-so. If the life leaves, the body is out. So it's that life, the energy. So spirituality means taking care of that energy, which we can call by different words. We can call it energy, we can call it consciousness, we can call it light, power, soul, spirit. Those are just words. Important is to just understand, I'm not just this body. I am this energy. And this energy is the creator of every thought, feeling, intention. And this energy decides what I speak. And this energy decides how I behave, how I live, how I work. So really everything is happening from here. It's like the energy center of a city, the energy center of a house. If that energy center doesn't work properly, nothing works properly. Nothing works properly. And yet we are not focusing on that energy center. So our mental health issues, our physical health issues, our relationships, our environmental health issues are actually from here. Because every thought we create, every thought, and on an average, we are creating about 70 to 80,000 thoughts in a day. That's what doctors teach us. So 70 to 80,000 thoughts in a day, it's a vibration, it's an energy. So the thought is not going to stay in my head. It vibrates. So it affects my feelings. So that's mental health. My every thought radiates to my body, affects my physical health. So however good may be my diet, my exercise regime, if I'm not thinking right, if I'm not creating the right emotions, I still don't have the best of physical health. And my every thought radiates to people, creates my relationships, and my every thought radiates to environment. And so even environmental health is influenced from here. So spirituality just teaches us to come to the core, the center, take care of the inner world. The outer world will start getting taken care of. But if we take care only of the outer world without taking care of the inner world, we are not reaching the solution.
Absolutely,
we're not reaching the solution.
So, sister,
Yes.
that's here in Ontario, as the Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, I always say that without mental health, you can't have health. So
Yes.
that vibration, that energy, how do you feed it? Because energy needs to be fed. Otherwise, eventually it evaporates and there's no energy left. So how do you nourish that spirituality?
Every thought we create, so we all can feel our vibrations. You can feel how you're feeling today. Sometimes we say, I'm feeling very low today. Sometimes we say, I don't feel like meeting anybody today. The word feeling is there always. Sometimes we go to a place and say, I'm feeling very nice in this place. It's good energy. We meet people. We say, I'm feeling very good vibes from this person. Sometimes we say, I'm not feeling good vibes from this person. So we can feel the vibration. Important is to take care of the quality of the energy that I'm creating. So feeling is after I've created thoughts. So when I create a thought, suppose I met you this morning and I create a thought, wonderful soul, very pure intention, very powerful mission. So this is my thought that I am creating. Once I start creating this thought about you, I will feel nice to connect with you. So the feeling is the second stage. The first stage is the thought. Now, where does the thought get created from? The source of our thoughts is the information we consume. One. Second, our past experiences. And third, are belief systems. Belief system means, do I believe that stress is normal? Do I believe anger is necessary? These are my belief systems. Do I believe life is a competition? Do I believe that I have to be better than other people? These are belief systems. And these belief systems create my thoughts. So information, past experiences, belief systems create my thoughts. Now, this is where it's most important, that information. Information is the content we consume. So a very important equation is everything I watch, everything I read, everything I listen is who I become. So content is equal to personality. So if we look at it in the last few decades, we're suddenly flooded with content. When I was in school, I did not have a mobile. It was still not there in India, I think. I didn't have a mobile. We didn't have internet in school. So we're going to 30, 35 years back. No mobile, no internet, no computers, the first television. So we were not talking depression. We were not talking anxiety. In fact, we were not even talking stress. Stress was just in physics, pressure divided by resilience. Then as we got flooded with content, technology, which made our life extremely comfortable, but we were not using it the right way. The phone makes our life extremely comfortable, but we hold on to it as if we can't live without it. We sleep with it. We wake up with it. In the middle of the night also, we will scroll it. Now that is what has started taking toll on the mind. And if this energy center gets affected by this content because it will, then everything else starts getting affected. So I always feel it is content is equal to personality, is equal to destiny. So if we take care of the content, personality and destiny starts getting taken care of.
And you use a wonderful analogy that I'm hoping you can explain with the recharging the cell phone battery and how important
Yes.
it is. So could you explain that for the people listening to us and why that's important from the standpoint of allowing that energy to reform or recreate so that you have that ability going forward?
In the last few years, we've seen a steep rise in mental health issues. Even in India, you've seen it in Canada, and I think it's all over the world. But in the last year, it went even higher. It is, doctors last month were saying it's no more about anxiety, it's about an anxiety disorder now. So it's no more an emotion, it is a mental health issue. So now we need to ask ourselves, COVID was a physical health issue. We knew how to protect ourselves. We were all taking care. What is the connection between mental health and COVID? COVID could not do anything here. It can only affect the body. But what was the issue was my emotional health. Emotional health means my coping skill with the situation, which was not my way. So the coping skill, and COVID is a global situation, but we all have personal situations. We have family situations. We have professional situations. So every time there is a situation, I have to respond. We respond to every situation. One response is a thought, second response is a word, and third response is a behavior. Now, before COVID also, we were living a life where we believed that our internal response is dependent on the quality of the situation and people's behavior. This is a life of emotional dependence, where I live my life saying, I'm angry because of this person. I'm in pain because of this person. This person is very irritating. I'm stressed because of this situation at work. This vocabulary, which we were kind of conditioned and talked about while we were growing up, this vocabulary was saying that everything that's happening in the outer world is creating my inner world. So I'm upset because of someone, I'm hurt because of someone, I'm happy because of something. So whether it's happiness or sadness, it was something to do with the outside world. So we thought inner world is dependent on the outer world. This is the biggest illusion. And this is actually the biggest mistake we've made, because then my mind is always dependent on the world. And then I need my world to be perfect. So I need my spouse to be perfect, my children to be perfect, my parents to be perfect, my colleagues to be perfect, and perfect according to my definition of perfect. I need them to be perfect according to me. And when they are not my way, or when my situation is not my way, I started creating hurt, pain, anger, sometimes even hatred. Even hatred. I got into the habit of complaining, not being contented, criticizing, fear. So this is low emotional health. So if I visualize this like a battery, it's not a battery, but we visualize it like we are able to see our phone battery or our laptop battery. We know where we stand and we know when I need to connect it and get charged before it shuts down. I don't want it to shut down. So I will charge my technology. Similarly, if I could see this battery, then I would know, where am I? Is it 4 lines, 3 lines, 2 lines? Where is this battery? But because I cannot see it, I keep living my life reacting to situations, depleting my energy. Every time I'm creating these negative emotions, I'm depleting this battery. And then suddenly comes a situation in my life, like COVID was a situation. And this battery, which was already at probably 2 or 1, suddenly got hit by a bigger situation. And I did not have the strength to face it. And from 2, I went to 1 line. And when I went to 1 line, there became chances of tipping to a mental health issue. So it was no more an emotional health issue, it became a mental health issue. If we take care of charging this battery on a daily basis, like we charge all our technology, then situations will be outside, may not always be perfect, but I am the creator of my every thought and feeling. We have to hold on to this every day. We cannot live a life of blame. We take a life of self-responsibility. I am the creator of my every thought and feeling. So let's start it with the tiny situations of the day. Someone saying something to you which you don't like, someone behaving a different way. Just take charge of your mind in those little insignificant situations of the day. Respond right. Respond right, respond healthy, which means if they are doing something which is not right, I have to be calm and respectful in my response. That will conserve my battery here. If I react, if I shout, if I snap, these are simple things. I am depleting my battery. So in every scene, we take care, am I conserving my health or am I depleting my health? And very soon it becomes a natural way of living. Forgiveness will become natural, letting go of the past will become natural, and then this battery will remain energized, and then we will not tip off to an addiction or to a mental health issue. We will not, if we take care of our emotional health. And there are simple lifestyle habits that we follow to take care of this emotional health.
Could you tell us some of them? Because I was fascinated to hear how you start your day and the
Yes.
time that you have to dedicate to the mind, to the ability of allowing it to wake up. Could you describe a typical day, how we should be living our lives? Because I think in the West, and I found it humorous, and I'm listening to you, and I know how bad our habits are, including my own. But listening to you, it's so logical, and you think being, educated, we'd understand these things. But could you maybe help explain a day and how we should begin, and how that will improve our overall outlook and the energy that we have during the day?
The energizing of the mind and the body is happening during our sleep. So sleep is a very important factor for mental health issues and for physical health issues. What has happened in the last few decades, again, since the time we have all these technology toys with us, we have started compromising on our sleep cycle. When we didn't have all these toys, we would go to sleep normal, come back from work, nothing much to do at home, read a good book, spend time with family, and then we would automatically go to sleep early. It was a natural way of living. Nobody taught us that. It would just happen on its own. And when we sleep at the right time, in the right way, then there is a lot of healing that happens during our sleep. So the sleep is for processing everything that's going on in the mind, giving the mind answers, resting the mind, and then going into the delta stage of sleep, which is the deep sleep, where the energizing happens. So it's the delta stage. In one sleep cycle, which means at one stretch when I sleep in the night, we will go into 2 sleep cycles, 2 delta stages. And those 2 delta stages are enough to energize us for the rest of the day. And the healing of the body also happens during the sleep. So healing of every organ. Now, for that, what we need to do is, one, sleep early. When we were in school, we were taught early to bed, early to rise, makes a person healthy, wealthy, wise. I don't know whether they teach that in school anymore, because most of the children keep studying late night and they keep studying during the night, and then they're going to sleep in the morning. Anything that we do which is not as per nature, it's not as per nature. We are going against nature. It will start taking a toll over a period of time. So the best time to be asleep is 10 to 2. That's another science. That 10 to 2 is the energizing of the mind and the body. If instead of 10, I sleep at 11, I lost 1 out of the 4 hours. If I sleep at 12, I lost 2. And if I sleep at 2, even if I sleep 8 hours after 2 o'clock, I've lost the best time of energizing. So now priority has to be set right. Now, if I'm going to decide to sleep at 10, at 8 o'clock, which means 2 hours before I sleep, or around 7:30, I have to finish my dinner so that my digestion happens before I go to sleep. So during my sleep, the body doesn't have to digest. So the body only focuses on healing. So, energy can do only one thing at a time. If I sleep and just have a heavy meal before I go to sleep, then the next few hours, that 10 to 2 time, which was for energizing, will go in digestion. And if the body is only doing the digestion during those 4 hours, then the body doesn't get time to heal. And so over a period of time, hypertension, diabetes, cardiac issues, digestion had not happened before sleeping. So the best time is at least 2.5 hours before sleeping, dinner, and a lighter dinner, so that it digests quickly, and then the body is only into the healing mode. Now, same thing with the mind. Because of our technology, we are connected to our work till we go to sleep. So we are checking work emails, we are checking work messages, we are having business calls, we're doing everything till we close our eyes. Even while closing our eyes, we will scroll once again. Any new message, any new email. Now, if I consume all this, my work-related communication till I go to sleep, then my mind is in the beta plus stage, which means the hyperactive stage. But because the body is tired, I will fall off to sleep. But my mind has got so much to think about. So the next couple of hours, the mind will be processing all that information. When we wake up in the morning, we will not feel fresh and energetic. And some people, if you see them in the morning on the way to work, I love to look at faces on the highway and just keep looking at faces early morning. How happy are they? And how healthy do they look? And how energetic are they? Many people look very tired early in the morning. You can't make out whether they're going to work or returning from work. The faces look very tired early morning, not slept right. Look at us on a flight. We can go off to sleep in the mornings. How can someone go to sleep in the morning if they've slept in the night? So the another epidemic that we have is sleep deprived. We are a sleep deprived generation, which is a cause of mental health issues also. So 10 o'clock to sleep, 2 hours before sleeping, disconnect from work communication. We can put everything for next morning, emails, messages, phone calls. Leave it only for a crisis when there is an urgency, which is very rare. Next, at least 1 hour before, disconnect from all other media, which means movies, serials, books which would stimulate the mind, and definitely not the world news. It is toxic to consume the world news before going to sleep. You can't harm yourself any way more than that. By just consuming all the visuals, all the information, everything that we are consuming. It's real. We need to know about it, but not before going to sleep. Because then my mind will be flooded with all that, not just the visual, but the emotion of the visual. So the emotion of death, the disease, the terror, everything. That's not what you give to the mind before going to sleep. So 2 hours before, disconnect from the world news. Now, the last hour should be spent in a way which starts slowing down the mind. So you slow down the mind before we go to bed. So a good book, a self-transformational book, soothing music, a diary writing. It's very good to write a diary on a daily basis, daily journaling. So you release your emotions before you go to sleep. Then we meditate before we sleep, at least for 10 minutes. Surrender everything to the Supreme, clean the mind, forgive people before going to sleep. If there was anything that happened during the day, please forgive people before going to sleep, and please ask for forgiveness before going to sleep. In your mind, it's only happening in the mind. If I do not forgive or ask for forgiveness before going to sleep, and I go to sleep with that emotional wound, then it's no more on the top layer of the mind. During my sleep, it goes deep into the subconscious. And that's where we are holding on to the past for years because we went to sleep with it. So the regime before sleeping is very important. Daily journal, release it, forgive people, ask for forgiveness, anything troubling your mind, counsel yourself. Write the answer to yourself, right, like you would counsel a friend. And then at least 15 minutes before sleeping, consume a healthy emotional diet, which means spiritual content, self-transformation book, anything that you like, but it should be a high vibrational emotional diet, which means content which is full of compassion, faith, divinity, purity, power, love, acceptance, gratitude, everything that I want to become. I need to consume for 15 minutes before I go to sleep. So now that is the information that will get processed by my mind, radiate to my body during the 6 hours of sleep. If I sleep like this way, slowing down my mind before I go to sleep, then I will naturally wake up early. So we gain on time by sleeping the right way. By sleeping the right way, I would not need more than 6 hours of sleep. Anybody can experiment, and you will naturally wake up between 4 and 5 a.m. And that is the highest vibrational time of the 24-hour cycle, the 4 to 5 a.m. Even today, people are talking of the 5 a.m. leadership club. So why do they want leaders to wake up at 5 a.m.? Creativity is highest, intuition power is highest. Anything that's on your mind, you would get a solution at that time. So waking up early, 1 hour after we wake up, again, not connecting to the world. Blotting paper, the mind is like a blotting paper, absorption power highest. Don't put the world onto the mind first thing in the morning. We have the rest of the day for the world. This hour is for energizing the self. Again, 15 to 20 minutes at least of meditation. Second, at least 20 minutes of a healthy emotional diet. Just flood your mind with a healthy emotional diet, 20 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the night. Restrict content consumption during the day. Don't just keep on mindlessly scrolling and saying this is a time pass. It is toxic, it's affecting our destiny. So restrict content consumption from all media platforms. During the day, take care of your behavior. Because we've energized ourselves, it's going to be easy. Take care that you're responding right to every situation. Anger, aggression, irritation, absolutely a no-no. Make your office a no-anger zone. Make your school and college a no-anger zone. Finally, make your city a no-anger zone. It will save a lot of lives. It will really save a lot of people's lives. So simple lifestyle habits during the day, taking care of how we are responding, being respectful, compassionate. Please remember, we're not doing a favor to the other person. We're doing it purely for our health, and taking care of the food we eat. So that is also another factor which affects the mind.
Yes, and you speak of that. I believe it's the 5 principles: the sattvic money, the sattvic
Yes.
food, the mind.
Yes.
Could you elaborate a little bit on that for the people listening as well? What you mean by that?
There are 4 energies. In Hindi, the words are very beautifully connected. It's dhan, which means money. Then an means food. Then man, the mind. And then tan, body. So these are 4 connected energies. So the money we earn is the first energy that enters into the house. Money is not just currency with which we buy things. Money is energy of the way we earned that money. So now what's happened in society, priority is how much I earn. Priority should not be how much I earn. Priority should be how I earn. Because what I earn only buys me physical comforts. How I earn affects my mind and the minds of my family, because that money is used to buy the food, it's used for the education of your children. So money should be earned with blessings, which means ethical working, right working, being compassionate to people who you're working with. You can't just shout at people and get work done. Then you will have their pain coming with your earning every day. And if you're into business, put the other person's benefit important even more than your benefit, which means think about the client before yourself. Don't prioritize, okay, what will I get out of it? What will they get out of it? What will they benefit? When they benefit, I earn blessings. And when we earn blessings, we earn more money than we had ever imagined, because blessings give us trust. They give us love and acceptance of the client. We earn much more. But most important, we also earn peace of mind. We also earn beautiful relationships. So dhan, the money we earn, needs to be sattvic, which means high vibrational energy with the money. Then the food we eat. So if the money is not right, the food bought with that money will also get affected. So it has to go in all the 4 steps. Then the food we eat is a plant-based diet, because the vibrations of the food affect our mind. We are what we eat. We are what we eat doesn't only mean that the body is what we eat. It is I am what I eat, not my body is what I eat. It is I am what I eat. Again, in Hindi, the line is simpler. It is Jaisa an, Vaisa man, which means as is the food, so is the mind. It's very clear. As is the food, so is the mind. So food is not just nutrients, minerals, vitamins, carbohydrates. We're so conscious about the minerals now that, and all the proteins that we are consuming, and we have a diet chart, which is good. But food is not just nutrients. Food is vibration. So when we have an animal-based diet, we just need to go and look at a video online to see what the animal is going through before they come on our plate. We will know the vibration of the food. There is hurt, there is pain, there is helplessness, there's hatred, then there is fear, then there is violence, and then there is death. These are all the emotions that are getting created. And then there's death. Death can never give health. A death of someone cannot give health to me. It can give me proteins. Proteins doesn't equal to health. Proteins is just one nutrient of the body, which I can easily get from a plant-based diet. So an animal-based diet is a total no-no, absolute no-no for healing of the mind and the body. Another principle of sattvic diet is the way it is cooked. So if I just have a plant-based diet, that's not the highest vibrational diet. The way I am cooking it. If I'm in stress while I'm cooking my food, if I'm angry with someone and I'm cooking my food, if I'm hurt, I'm crying and I'm cooking my food, that food should not be eaten. We should not eat that food because all that pain vibrations has gone in that food. So the kitchen is a place from where the minds of the family can be influenced. So high energy words need to play in the kitchen, which means prayers, hymns, spiritual songs. Let it just play gently in the background in the kitchen. Every word will energize the food and the water. So food and water vibration is very important. So while cooking, the mind needs to be very calm and peaceful. So how I earn, what I eat, how it's cooked, and then how I eat. Now, when we eat food, there are 3 ways. 1, food that is cooked in the remembrance of God. We call that prasad. In the temples, in the gurdwaras, if you come, you will always get something to eat over there. So it's cooked in the remembrance of the divine. Second is food that is cooked in the remembrance of the family. Oh, my children will eat this, my spouse will eat this. We love for the family, we are cooking. And third is food that is cooked for business. It's with the intention of profit. You eat, I earn. Now that's a very different energy that goes into the food. So as far as possible, eat home cooked food. Buy food only when it's absolutely necessary, like when you're traveling or something. But don't sit at home and order food. Nobody orders food sitting at home, but that's what we've started doing nowadays. We order food. So we are eating a lot of food which is cooked with the intention of profit, which is cooked for business, not the best vibration for the mind. And we don't know who's cooking. What is their state of mind while they're cooking? That will also affect my state of mind. So how it's being cooked is very important. And third, how to eat. Make it a culture at home. No phone, no TV while eating. We're not going to have the plate in one hand and the remote control of the television in the other hand. Eating is not some side business. Eating is like a ritual for energizing the mind and the body. So mindful eating practices, not distracted eating. Nowadays, little kids, even 2-year-old children, the dinner plate and a screen stand there. They're watching cartoon shows and they're eating. They're practicing distracted eating from that age of 2 and 3. This is another thing that you will see after 20 years, how it will affect their mental and physical health. So mindful eating practice, no phone, no TV, no arguments, no problem discussion if you're eating with people, no business talk while you're eating, none of these things while we are eating. Just connect to the divine, radiate that vibration of purity and power in the food, silence eating. As far as possible, silent while eating. Or if you're with people, just happy, light conversations. Just remembering whatever we are talking, the food is absorbing it. And what the food is absorbing is going to become my state of mind and my state of the body. So we are not going to discuss politics while eating, problems while eating, COVID while eating. All this cannot be discussed with the food.
Yeah, it's wonderful. The more I listen to you, the more I think of, the importance of living in the moment, teaching
Yes.
our young children, because of things that we see like anxiety and depression,
Yes.
that the more opportunity they have to have those positive vibrations within themselves and understand them in that moment, the impact that will have on their positive outlook during the day, their mental health going forward. I mean, they're wonderful, wonderful thoughts, and you put them together so eloquently, so beautifully, and you can't argue with them. They're fundamental, really, to who we are, and our spiritual health.